TV trash. Over the last few months, I've reviewed some shows, going into them without knowing that much, and declaring them to be good, but it's been a while since we've had officially one of these episodes, so welcome back to TV Treasures. As I mentioned before, Disney seems to get a lot of flack for its recent commitment to live-action shows featuring mainly teen or preteen characters. It looks like the main gripes are that they exclusively pander to tween girls and that they're almost all carbon copies of one another. But however formulaic these shows may seem now, the truth is that at one time, the live shows Disney made were actually creative with unique themes and characters. Which is why now we're gonna take a look at one of those shows from the late 90s that clearly had no idea of the monster it was spawning. This is The Jersey. Premiering on the Disney Channel in 1999, The Jersey was actually based on a series of Gordon Corman books titled The Monday Night Football Club. It was developed for TV by Thomas Lynch, who had already made The Secret World of Alex Mack on Nickelodeon, and has since been called the David Kelly of kids shows. The show centers around a small group of kids, Nick, Coleman, and Elliot, who have a conundrum in that Nick's cousin Morgan has moved into town and wants to join their club, centered around all of them getting together to watch Monday Night Football. Yeah, they basically do what several 30-year-old men do as well, but they're a super secret club, so it's cool. They don't even have the Quick Bunny as a mascot. How cool can they really be? Nick is reluctant to let Morgan join, and it has nothing to do with the fact that she's a girl. It's because he was butthurt over her supposedly knowing more about the game than him. And not because she's a girl who knows more than him. Not at all. Good, because I think the whole You Go Girl plotline went out of style at least 10 years earlier. Okay, the other reason has to do with a collection of stuff they were handed down from their grandfather, where Morgan gets this autographed ball, while Nick gets stuck with this ratty old jersey that I think Teddy Roosevelt was the last to wear.
Hey, Nicky, this meant a lot to your grandfather. I don't want to find it on the floor again. Okay?
Yeah, Dad.
Okay, good.
But when Nick finally relents to giving it a try, he discovers that this jersey has a bit more than meets the eye.
Hey, what the heck is Young still doing on the sidelines? He should be in the huddle by now.
Yo, Steve, in the game. Come on, Steve, offense is on the field.
Huh?
Well, Young, get your butt out there, man.
Like Elliot said.
What is this?
A dream.
Young is breaking the
Very
huddle.
cool dream.
So yes, not only does the jersey send Nick into Steve Young's body, it apparently gives him all of his athletic abilities.
He's looking for an open man. He's scrambling and sees Rice.
Yeah.
The throw is up. Rice has it. He's running. It's touchdown.
See, if he could have kept the other person's abilities, that would have made Sam Beckett's job a whole lot easier.
Nick, where have you been? They called Morgan's play to win the game.
No, that was me. I was Steve Young.
And
You were really Steve Young?
What does that mean?
I was Steve Young.
Tonight?
How cool is that? I want to go home.
And thus, the basis of the show is set. The jersey every episode has Nick and or one of his friends jump into sports stars of the late 90s.
I don't like this. I want to go home. You will. I hope. I don't like being somebody else.
You're not just somebody else. You're Jason Sehorn. Isn't that cool?
Now, amazingly, despite Gordon Korman being my favorite author as a kid, I actually never even knew the Monday Night Football Club books existed until years after this show was on. What I will say is that Disney does take the concept and expands on it greatly. For one thing, the jersey is not just restricted to making the kids jump into football players, as we see them become baseball, basketball, hockey, racing stars. Just make sure you keep Digger the Gopher out of this show. Oh, and did I mention the jersey is a sentient being? No kidding. The thing has a mind of its own and frequently does things like sneak into the kids' bags so they find it at just the right time, or other times will flat out abduct them.
Elliot, where are you? Awesome. Marvin Harrison.
So what exactly happens to the athlete when the person jumps into him? Does he get sent off to some sort of extraterrestrial waiting room where he's trapped there until the kid jumps back? Yeah, this is probably why nerds shouldn't watch Disney. This is usually how the jersey helps teach the kids the lesson they need to learn of the week, because yes, especially back then, kids shows had to have learning shoehorned into them.
Man's a machine.
Throw the slider.
No way. He crushes those. You don't know what you're talking
A
about.
slider is also a pitch that he whiffs most often.
What if he doesn't?
What if he does? Listen, Nick, we have to work together here. I can see how Sheffield is standing, and I know what he's thinking. He's not expecting a slider. Throw it.
The other amazing thing is that this show had an amazing amount of plot continuity for a Disney sitcom. With each episode, especially early on, we get gradual information as to all of the jersey's secrets. For example, the jersey only works for Nick and his family. Don't remember if they actually explained why, but it will jump others if they put on the jersey and Nick or Morgan touch them. That may or may not have changed after the jersey got washed. Yeah, in the early episodes, the jersey's powers were somewhat limited until Nick's mom put it in the washing machine. Not kidding with that one. Also, the jersey has the ability to disguise itself as other clothing, and when someone puts it on inside out, it actually keeps them in their own body, but gives them the athletic talent of a nearby sports star.
David Wells can't throw a strike to save his life.
How bad is he?
Believe it or not, he's throwing like...
Hillary?
Exactly. Slaw, what's going on?
Hillary's down here throwing 90-mile-an-hour fastballs.
The jersey.
Are we sure Thomas Lynch isn't related to David? 'Cause we're about 2 convoluted plot elements away from this becoming a kid's version of Twin Peaks. There's also this ongoing story about Nick's sister Hillary eventually learning about the jersey, which is a problem because her friend is this nosy investigative reporter who wants to expose them all. Yeah, more attempts to put the media in a bad light, but they eventually get the friend to keep their secret, though I'm not sure exactly how, because I unfortunately never saw that episode. That's another thing I have to apologize for, not having better clips to link up with my commentary, because this is another one of those shows that's pretty hard to find episodes for. It's among the many shows that Disney has buried in its back vault and practically not shown at all since going off the air in 2004, so you're pretty much stuck without finding personal VHS recordings somewhere. At any rate, the show had a pretty epic finish for a Disney sitcom after the jersey transported the kids to the Dark Ages, where they learned it was originally created by Merlin. Again, so not kidding. They get caught by this guy, who I think was a wizard too, who wants the jersey's powers for himself.
Soon, the jersey will be irrelevant. When I have distilled its power, I can jump anywhere I want to, be anyone I choose.
Are you done?
I'm Larkin.
What are you doing, sir?
Let me out of here!
Go! Come on!
Guys, wait, the jersey!
At least I think this was the last episode. It was the last one I ever saw, but the official episode guide indicates about 7 others were made after it. But personally, I stopped trusting episode lists after seeing the ones for the first Ninja Turtles series.
So, Lee, you like football?
Love it. Oh, by the way, does this belong to anybody? I found it outside on the ground.
You found the jersey.
Keep on jumping.
Who knows if those guys are still jumping into athletes today. But if any of them was in Nelson Cruz during the 2011 World Series! Still, yeah, this was one of the more creative kids shows to come out of Disney's repertoire. It took a relatively silly concept from a book series and turned it into almost a kid's version of Quantum Leap. It did a good job balancing the sports it showcased. Its attempts to be educational weren't malicious, and it was one of Disney's first attempts at kids television with an overreaching story arc, meaning the producers thought their audience was intelligent enough to follow it. Pity that might not be true with some of the stuff they put out now. All in all, the Jersey showed that yes, Disney can be creative in producing live-action entertainment for kids. So if merely producing such shows isn't the problem, where does it really lie? I'd say the real issue is twofold. First, since around Hannah Montana, Disney basically gave It's a Laugh Productions pretty much exclusive production rights to their live-action shows, and they've been the cookie-cutter series ever since. Though maybe some of the more recent ones have been made by others, I can't say. The other problem lies in the fact that no matter what they produce, live or animated, Disney seems hell-bent on only broadcasting their most recent productions and burying even what they made just 5 years ago, let alone 30, to never be seen on the air ever again. This is more frustrating in Disney's case because they own 100% of what they distribute and thus don't have to worry about distribution costs. Again, I don't mind that they make fresh material. I don't even mind that most of it is live action, and yes, I know they still make cartoons and they usually get praise. The problem lies in that they seem to be ignoring their history. One would think that especially with multiple networks, there would be room for both their current and past material, but they just refuse to try that. Though, to be fair, recently they seem to be getting it somewhat. At least a number of their past shows are now available for streaming through their own website or their official YouTube channel, which is where I found the Gargoyles episodes. So maybe Disney has found a way that we really can get the best of both worlds. Oh, shut up! But to be honest, what's really been disappointing has been this show in the last few weeks. I mean, after the Summer Spectacular and the subsequent episodes, there hasn't been a lot of bad stuff for me to rant on. Next week, we're getting back into the Ninja Turtles retrospective, and after that, maybe we'll find something bad to riff on. See you next time on TV Trash.